Welcome to another episode in the Johan Explains series. Today we are going to take a look at a fascinating track. The band is Toto and the song is Falling in Between. Now, anyone who takes on a Toto song in a video like this is either brave or perhaps not so smart. I don't know what that tells you about me, but let me tell you something that I just thought of. Now, back in the 70s, there was a lot of progressive music that hit the scene. Musicians were experimental. And a lot of that progressive, symphonic, experimental music came out onto the market. Then in the 80s, the demand for simpler music increased. Simpler, more pop songs. And something interesting happened. The greatest, biggest artists, they still recorded their albums in the best the greatest studios, most expensive, wonderful studios. And they had like heaps and heaps of wonderful analog gear. And they had the best producers, and they had the best engineers, and they had the best possible instruments. They also had access to amazing musicians. And remember, this was before the 90s, where music production moved from analog tape and all this analog sweetness into the computer, and music in a way died because everything was now grid aligned and pitch corrected. But back in the 80s, we still had that. The greatest artists with the biggest studios, with the biggest budget, and they spent a whole bunch of time writing their pieces and putting together stuff. And here happened something that I feel is really interesting. We had some artists that created what I call a layered approach. They created compositions that met the need of the common man on the street that wanted mainstream pop songs. So we could listen to a song like that and, oh, that's good. I like this pop song. But then that was a top layer. And then there is a layer beneath where hobby musicians and people that were into music, they heard more. They went, whoa, listen to that drummer. Listen to that fill. Listen to that bass thing. Listen to that phrasing. That's really cool. And then there is the bottom layer, where the music nerds and the really talented guys and the guys with all the knowledge and the professional musicians, even they could listen to that pop song and go, wow. This is cool. Listen to all the detail. Listen to the intricacies. Listen to everything that has been put into this song. This is amazing. And those three layers, I think that is something that happened back in the 80s. And what were the artists that did this? I first think about Peter Gabriel. Listen to his album So. Listen to Sledgehammer. That is the epitome of a layered song. Man on the street can just listen to Sledgehammer. Oh, this is a good pop song. And the hobby and the interested guys, they feel the middle layer, and all the nerds and the professionals, they can listen to this song over and over and just be amazed of how good it is. Sting is another example. with Vinny Colaiuta on drums and all the jazz musicians he had playing for him. Layered songs. And the third band that I just think of from the top of my head is Toto. Toto has a bunch of songs that sounds ordinary. And the song we're going to talk about today was not recorded in the 80s. It was recorded in the 90s. But still, it has that phenomena that was created in the 80s, that the fantastic musicians had put together something that is amazing but sounds totally simple. And still it rocks out pretty well. I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful song. And it is the most amazing concert opener. If you open a concert with that song, it just hits you like that. It's just fantastic. We're going to talk about this song, so I think we should listen to it. And I think you might agree that it sounds simple. It sounds like a rock song. It has that Toto-ish distorted guitars and electric piano thing, but it still sounds like a cool rock song. And as usual, before we listen to it, bear with me, I'm not a professional drummer and I can't really play the keyboard. So I simplify the song a little bit. Still, we have all the odd times and all the basic elements are there, but I simplified the keyboard part and I shortened the song because I didn't have time to record the whole thing. So I made a compact version of it. So here we go. Now, doesn't that strike you as a cool rock song? It does to me. It strikes me as a really cool concert opener rock song. I really like it. I think it rocks out. But did you notice that the intro is in 33/16? Did you notice that when the vocal starts, we have 4/4 on top of 5/4? Did you notice that we have some extra bars put in there? Did you notice that the next theme is 11/8? And then we go into 5/4 again. So there is stuff going on here that's what I call like layered approach. Things that you don't even notice the first time you hear the song. So let's dive in and dissect this. So let's start with the intro, which is in 33/16. So I don't know if you can see that, but is my markers where I changed the time signature. So we have 16/16 and then 17/16 and then they alternate. And 16 plus 17 is of course 33. So when you count this, I want you to count 4 first and then the alternate. You count 1, 2, 3. And then you count 16 notes like this, 1 E and a on the last one. But you put an extra 16, so we have 1 E and a 2. So the whole thing becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1 E and the 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1 E and the 2, 1, like that. So let's do that to the intro. See if you can feel it. And to put some extra spice there, when they load up into the where the vocals come in and the song really starts, that bar is not 33. That one is 32. It's because they want to build that crescendo into, so you can feel and count it like it's just going to feel right. That's why they have removed that last extra 16 notes. At least that's what I think. Now, when the vocals enter, Bobby Kimball, of course, he sings in 4/4. But the pattern behind the rhythm pattern behind is actually 5/8. So we have 4/4 on top of 5/8. And we're gonna listen to just the bass and the guitar and the piano bass. And I'm gonna count and show you the 5/8. And then we have the little guitar lick, which is overdubbed with the keyboard, which is cool. And it introduces like an extra bar because it doesn't really fit if you count it 4/4. So you have to insert an extra bar there to make it work. Now, when we go to the next theme, there's a bunch of interesting things happening, and there are some really unusual harmonies there. But I wanted to show you before we talk about the odd time signatures that happen. We have an A, and this is the theme where I hear voices calling from the faces never seen. We have there might be one or two notes that I didn't get right, but you get the idea. It's pretty unusual harmonies for like a rock song. Now let's talk about the time signatures here. This theme is in 11/8. And I didn't even think about that when I heard the song first time. I just thought it rocks out. And this time it's not like a full bar and then we have the alternate. This time the alternate comes first. So we have 5/8 followed by 6/8. So it is like a 6/8. Jack. Jack. But the first time, the first half of it is 5 instead of 6. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's do that. Like that. The next part is when Philly Gaines, the keyboard player who played with Toto for a while, plays his whoa, 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 or sings his whoa, 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 whoa. And it looks like he is really enjoying himself when he does that. And here again, we have some really unusual harmonies. When he starts there. That's not really a usual rock chord, is it? Oh, 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 oh. I think that's beautiful. Then we have the last part in my version, which is again 5/8, and this diminished chord, which I think is, at least what I hear is that, and with a D in the bass. Do 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 do. So let me close by saying something about those layers that I talked about, the layered approach. As far as I'm concerned, I think in this video we have just talked about the top layer and the mid layer. And I left out the bottom, the most intricate and the most sophisticated layer that is for the super nerdy and super talented guys. And I don't know if that is because I'm a bit afraid. It's really scary to do a video on a Toto song. Or if I'm just being ridiculous, I don't know. But I think this is what you, my viewers, like. At least that's what I'm getting from you. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like my content, please hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for supporting the channel and for listening. Thank you.